Hi guys! So in February I actually read a lot of different things in various mediums, so to make everything a lot easier, instead of going from chronological order of when I read everything, I'm going to go books first, then graphic novels, then manga, just so it's easier on everyone. So the first book that I finished in February was The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. This is the first book in the Broken Earth trilogy, which has won a ton of awards. Everyone loves this book. It's set in a world that has constant natural disasters that basically wipe out humanity every 1,000 years or so. It's a mixture of fantasy and sci-fi, so I was really interested to pick it up and see what I thought about it, and I can definitely tell why this is such a well-loved book. It's objectively very good. It has a really unique world, and it's very intricate and complex to the point where it kind of gets a little confusing and convoluted, mixed with the very unique narrative structure. It's told from 3 different girls in 3 different timelines, and one of those timelines is being told in second person, which I still don't know why. A lot of people have a problem with reading in second person because it makes them feel really uncomfortable, because most books aren't written in second person. And I didn't have a problem with that necessarily, it's just that I'm really curious why it was chosen to be in second person, because as of right now I have no idea. I don't see the point, and I just want to know why that decision was made. But that narrative structure also adds to the confusion. It makes it very hard to get into the story because you don't know what's happening at all. You don't know how the world works. You don't know what's going on in these different characters' lives. You don't know literally anything. You're thrown into the deep end and expected to figure it out yourself, which I was warned about, but it still made it a little hard for me to get into the book in the first place. I loved the world. I thought it was really interesting and intricate, and I wanted to know how it works, and it took a very long time to figure out how it works, and we still don't really know how it fully works, which is another thing that I had a little bit of a problem with in this book. I was left with so many questions at the end that were just about the basic world building. Like, normally in the first book in a series, you get sort of a setup of the world and the background and like where everything's going to take place, and then it's the plot that you still have questions about. But in this book, the plot is so interwoven with the structure of the world that you don't know how everything works, and it's really a weird place to be at the end of the first book. But I think the world was one of the strongest points of this book for me. It also dealt a lot with humanity, and it had really powerful depictions of humanity from the minds of these characters that you're following, which I appreciated, but I was never fully attached to the characters for some reason. I didn't really feel much for them, and I'm a very character-driven reader. I love getting attached to characters and falling in love with characters, and I didn't really find that happened with this book. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's, again, the narrative structure that kind of threw me off, but I don't know, I just didn't really feel much for this book until around the end, when I was just shouting at this person to stop doing what they're doing. Why are you doing what you're doing? You're an idiot. That was the extent of the emotion I felt in this book. It's not a very pleasant book. There's a lot of depictions of violence, and I felt a lot of revulsion against like the inhumane treatment of people, which I think is supposed to be a parallel to our world and a commentary on different social aspects of our world, but it can be a very tough read. So I don't know if I really enjoyed this book or not. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. I liked the world and I appreciated the story, and I want to continue and see what happens and figure out more about this world, but I didn't really feel happy while reading it, I guess. And it took a while for me to get through because I didn't want to pick it up because I wasn't really attached to it. So I don't know, I kind of have mixed thoughts on this. I still gave it 4 out of 5 stars because I can see this is a good book. Objectively, it's a good book. It's just my enjoyment level of it was kind of all over the place. The next book I read was The Restaurant at the End of the Universe by Douglas Adams. This is the second book in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy. This is basically just a crazy adventure through space, following the same characters from the first book, and there wasn't really much to the story. It's mainly humor, and I definitely laughed out loud a lot during this book, but I couldn't really tell you what it was about or if the characters developed at all. I don't think they did, and I don't know how much of a plot it had. It was more just a funny little escape into space. So I don't know, I liked it. I definitely think it wasn't as out there and crazy as the first book was, which just had a lot of really weird elements to it. This one, I mean, it still has some of that like wacky out of nowhere things but it wasn't nearly as much as the first book because of certain plot events in the story. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Moving into graphic novels, I read 2 this month, and the first one was a collection of comics. Actually, I don't know if it can be classified as a graphic novel. I'm going to call it a graphic novel, and it was a Big Mushy Happy Lump by Sarah Andersen, and this is her second collection of comics. She makes webcomics. I'm not sure where she posts them, but she compiles them into books every year, I think. She has for the last 3 years at least. I read the first one in 2017, I think, so I picked up the next one. It's really light and funny. They're really relatable and cute, and they're fun to flip through when you're feeling lazy. I really liked it. I will probably be picking up her 3rd book that she just came out with, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next graphic novel is a middle grade graphic novel called The Witch Boy, written by Molly Ostertag. And I loved this. It was so cute. It's about a boy who comes from this family of witches and shapeshifters, and all of the women are witches and all of the men are shapeshifters, but he finds out that he's actually more drawn to witchery, and everyone is telling him that's wrong and dangerous and he shouldn't be messing with witch things and should instead be trying to be a shapeshifter. And he just really doesn't want to do it. He doesn't have an knack for it, and it's about finding out who you are and accepting who you are while also having this background of fantasy and family that's just so entertaining and adorable. There's so much diversity in the characters, and I think the story was really well done. It had cute messages, cute art, a good story. I was just really happy with this book, and I would highly recommend it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Now into manga, the first series I want to talk about is Ototo no Oto, or My Brother's Husband, by Tagame Gengorou. I read the first volume of the bind-up, so it's actually volumes 1 and 2 of this series. It's about a guy whose brother dies, and his brother's Canadian husband comes to visit him in Japan. Not only does it deal with really important topics, but it's also just really cute and adorable and sweet, and it's so much fun to read. The art style is really different from what I'm used to. I'm used to shoujo manga, so it's definitely more muscly, I guess, more thick-bodied characters in this manga than what I'm used to seeing, which is all the like beautiful little guys who look kind of like girls, and yeah, I don't know. It was just a really interesting experience reading this one versus what I'm used to. But there were some kind of questionable shower scenes that I don't know. But I enjoyed this manga so far. I'm halfway through it. I think that it's really good and important, but I don't think I enjoyed it as much as I've seen other people. Everyone raves about this, and I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. I liked it, but... And speaking of shoujo, I read Harumatsu Bokura, or Waiting for Spring, by Anashin. I read volumes 1 through 9. This is volume 10, which I just got. I still have to read. I'm excited to read it. But this is a story about a group of high schoolers, one girl and her 4 friends on the basketball team, and it's so cute and light, and I love these characters. Their friendships are so nice to watch, and I would just follow them in their boring everyday life and be happy because I love these characters so much. The plot is a little, I mean, it's a light, fluffy high school romance shoujo, so not much from it, but I still really like it. It's a really popular manga right now. I mean, it's being released in English, and even my library has a copy, so that's saying something. I really love the character design and the art. I just think it's so cute. So this is just a light little series that I'm really enjoying right now. The next manga series I started was Hana-kun to Koisuru Watashi, or I Love Hana-kun by Kumaoka Fuyu. This is another high school romance shoujo, of course, because that is my thing. And it's about a class president who falls in love with a delinquent. I've read about 22 chapters, which is around 5 volumes, I think. And it's really cute and very honest and wholesome and sweet. It focuses a lot more on being in a relationship and having your first relationship as a high schooler and trying to figure out how you're going to support each other and love each other and be understanding of each other. And it's really cute. They're kind of fumbling through their romance, and it's just really heartwarming to read. I really appreciate how there's so much proper communication in this series. It's so incredible how many times a YA romance or a shoujo manga will have all of these unnecessary issues because the characters aren't communicating with each other. The main thing you need in a relationship is communication skills. So I'm so happy that this actually has good communication. It makes me very happy. I did find out that it's on hiatus after 10 volumes, so I don't know if the mangaka will be coming back to it. I think the last volume came out in 2015, so it's been a while. I don't know. It'll make me very sad if it doesn't end on a decent note, maybe? We'll see. The next high school romance shoujo manga I started was Tomo-chan wa Onanoko, or Tomo-chan is a Girl, by Yanagida Fumita. I'm probably butchering all of these names. I'm very sorry. I'm still learning Japanese and I'm not very far, so please forgive me. This is about 2 childhood friends, a boy and a girl, where the boy doesn't realize that Tomo-chan is a girl until they get into middle school. I've read 7 volumes and it's adorable. It's so cute and funny, and it always makes me laugh. I love these characters. They're so lovable, and the situations that they're in are just so funny, and it makes me very happy. I mean, the premise sounded great, so I'm not surprised that I'm enjoying it. It's actually in a yonkoma style, which is new to me. Yonkoma, as far as I know, it's 4 equally sized panels per page, so it's just these long rectangles all down the page, and every page is set up like that instead of normal manga that's kind of has different panel sizes all over the place. And I've never read yonkoma before, so it's been really interesting to see how this sort of format can tell the story. It's a lot more like at the end of every page there's like a punchline, and it's really interesting and really funny. And when that format gets broken, because it is a couple times, it's a lot more impactful when you see it than it would be in a normal manga, I think. So I've really enjoyed the experience and the characters and the story. So basically I really like this, and I'm very happy to continue reading it. The last series that I picked up and plan to continue reading is Yagate Kimi ni Naru, or Bloom Into You, by Nakatani Neo. It's about a girl who believes she can't fall in love and another girl who's in love with her. I've read about 1.5 volumes now, more like 2 at this point. But I'm pretty new to Yuri. I haven't read many yet, so I'm really interested in trying more and experiencing different types of stories. I can relate to one of the characters more than I'm normally able to in high school shoujo for some reason, but I'm a little bit worried because it seems to be going into this place where it would discount aromantics, and I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not very comfortable with that. I'm not sure if it will do that yet. I mean, I'm not far into the story at all, so I hope I'm wrong. I will continue anyway, but I really hope I'm proven wrong. But other than that, the story is pretty simple and sweet, and so I hope I will continue to enjoy it. Now, really quickly, I just want to go over the manga that I've dropped. I am very fickle when it comes to manga. I am really quick to drop series if something annoys me or if I just get bored. I don't have as much of a feeling of I need to complete it as I do with like books, but there were 3 series that I started and then stopped pretty much immediately in February. I'm just gonna quickly go over these, not really go into what they're about at all because I don't feel like it. I didn't like them enough. So I'll just tell you where I read to and at what point I dropped. So the first one was LDK by Watanabe Ayu, and I dropped it after 6 volumes. The next one was Kanjo ni Naruhi, or Becoming a Girl One Day by Ogura Akane, and I dropped it after 6 chapters, which I think is about 1 volume. And the last one was Watashi ga motete dosunda, or Kiss Him Not Me by Junko, and I dropped that after 3 chapters. So that's everything. I feel like it was a lot. I really got back into manga in February, and that's definitely going to continue into March. If you've seen my TBR, I am currently participating in Otaku-a-thon, and it's been a lot of fun. So if you've read any of these books and would like to discuss them, please feel free, and I will see you later. Bye.